Number two is the revitalization of key value chains and sectors, including MSMEs, where the majority of the people of Kenya derive their income from. We are doing that in agriculture. We are doing that in livestock. That's why we have said we must vaccinate our livestock, and then politics has come in. For heaven's sake, we have always vaccinated livestock. But only 10% of Kenyans have been vaccinating livestock. So when President Ruto went to UAE, he signed some agreements with UAE, Oman, Saudi, allowing us to export Kenyan beef on condition that we attain what we call herd immunity. And to get herd immunity from common diseases of livestock, you need at least 80% of the livestock to be vaccinated. The moment we said we have a campaign to vaccinate livestock, it became political. I don't know methane gas. I don't know George Soros. Was it Soros or who? I don't know who is vaccinating. That vaccine is made by Kevevapi, the Kenya Vaccines and Veterinary. And you know, these are Kenyans. People can, if it is untrue, you can easily find out. That vaccine is made by our scientists in Kabete, the Kenya Veterinary Vaccines Institute, by Kenyan scientists. There's no George Soros. There's no methane gas. And it is for the benefit of livestock farmers. We are just completing a major intervention in the river, a project that had stalled for years, called the Kenya Leather Industrial Park in Kenani at the river. That park will push job creation in the leather industry from the current 17,000 to about 150,000 Kenyans. Number two, we are bringing investors there to aggregate hides and skins in the livestock sector so that we stop throwing away hides and skins. Hides and skins are 100 times more valuable than meat because they are the ones that make the expensive shoes that all of us are wearing here for men and women. You can imagine one hide can make several pairs of shoes. Those shoes, one shoe is 50,000 shillings, 40,000, 20,000. But today, all our livestock farmers are throwing hides and skins to be eaten by hyenas or giving them for free to anybody who wants. Again, to a casual analyst, you know, what is this hide and skin business? That's how you transform the country. So that industrial park, the leather industrial park, is almost complete. I went there myself. Nilienda kuangalia, imebakisha just small interventions which I'm tying up, then the president will go and open. Mainly, most likely he'll do that by June because I realized the road, the tarmac road, needs to be complete. We don't want to bring international investors to a place where there is a section of Maram Road before you reach the industrial park. We have 32 companies that have expressed interest to operate from there, including Gucci, the makers of luxury bags and leather products. It looks like a joke because Kenyans are used to joking and Kenyans are used to mediocrity and lies and small things, small dreams, people talking like this. If we get our act together, we may not get all the investors there, but we are going to get investors there, create jobs, add value to our leather products, make our country better. But I think we've been socialized to think small and to look defeated all the time, that we cannot succeed. We can't succeed. So that is leather. I don't have time to mention so many other things. We are going to transform the blue economy, which is one of the greatest resource Kenya has for counties in Western Kenya, Nyanza, the coast region. We are sitting on national treasure called blue economy. What are we doing? We are giving grants to beach management units, 100,000, 200,000, so that they organize themselves and do a bit of table banking, etc. Number two, we are buying boats, about 600 boats for deep sea fishing. Number 3, we are building fish landing sites with coolers for preservation in Lake Victoria, the Indian Ocean. Number 4, we are building fish ports in Lamu, in Liwatoni, in Mombasa, and in Shimoni, in Kwale. I was there. I have seen the progress made, but because again we are used to, just hurting each other and talking small things, some of these interventions either get frustrated because there's no follow-up, and that is the job now we want to do. And we have decided we will follow up. Many people have been saying, oh, the president is making some announcements and then there's no follow-up. But the president cannot be the same person making the directives and following up. Some other people have to follow up, isn't it? And that's my understanding of my job as deputy president of Kenya. Sina kazi mbili. I saw some other people telling me, oh, I need to start opposing the president. Then I looked at the constitution and I couldn't find where that comes in. My work is to go and unlock these things because I have convening power. I call the ministers, the CEOs, everybody, so that by the time the president comes, there is some progress made. So we are making a lot of progress in these value chains and sectors which carry the majority of the people of Kenya. Number 3, support infrastructure, roads, electricity, ICT, water, very important. Markets for our business people so that they can have good places to sell their ware, they can find places. And then we've come up again, this part of our manifesto, with the first step towards industrializing Kenya. And that is providing in every county a county aggregation and industrial park, which even our brothers in ODM and Azimio had. They used to call it one county, one product. But today, when we are implementing KIPES, of course, these days we are now pulling in the same direction. You will hear people opposing something which was in the manifesto of both coalitions. Kenya will not grow until we take the first step towards industrialization. We have now, I am sure, about between 8 and 10 county aggregation and industrial parks will be complete before this year. Not just the brick and mortar, but we are also working on production issues so that if Busia KIPE, for example, is to aggregate cotton, we must mobilize in conjunction with county governments for farmers to grow enough cotton, which will be aggregated for value addition at the industrial park. And across the country, Migori is doing very well, Meru KIPE is doing very well. Some counties are still lagging behind. Part of my work is to make sure that in the next 2-3 years, at least 30 counties have KIPEs, which are operational. I was in Wajir the other day with the president. Again, the brick and mortar part is almost ready. Investors are expressing interest to come and set up there for aggregation and value addition. So the support infrastructure is going on. We are constructing 400 markets, which we will hand over to county governments. Again, that is a process which is underway. We are doing ICT hubs, one per ward. That is one area where we are behind schedule because we want to do 1,450, and up to now, the ones that are operational are only 272. So we are going to crack the whip on our colleagues in that area so that we catch up with our own commitments. Even if we don't meet the 100%, it will be good if we do maybe 60, 70% of our commitments. So we have the support infrastructure as pillar number 3. Pillar number 4 is job creation. Every year, about between 800 and 900 young people leave school or college. The economy has been absorbing about 200,000 every year. We are staring at a crisis. At the moment, about 6 million young people do not have either jobs or income opportunities. we are taking this as one of the most consequential interventions we are going to make in this generation. Get jobs and income opportunities for Kenyans, whether they are short-term jobs, long-term jobs, permanent jobs, jobs in Kenya, jobs out of Kenya, any job, anywhere is welcome, as opposed to allowing our young people to sit idle in marketplaces waiting to be given 200 shillings by politicians to heckle their rivals. So we are working so hard. We have 3 programs: Kazi kwa ground, Kazi mtandaoni, Kazi majuu. Those are our pillars for job creation, and we mean business. That will be supported, of course, by the interventions we are making to empower youth-facing businesses, like the Nyota program, which is the National Youth Opportunities Transformation Agenda. Nyota program, which I said we are rolling out with a 50,000 grant. It is for young people, businesses owned by young people. But we are also creating jobs. How? The traditional way of trying to hire those we can in the public sector, police and teachers and everybody, but only very few will get there. Supporting private sector. That's why we are working on reducing interest rates so that private sector can grow, employ more Kenyans at home. Short-term jobs in the housing program we are running. Short-term jobs, even if it's for a year or 2 years. Artisans, masons, plumbers, electricians, engineers, quantity surveyors, they will find some jobs to do as they wait for us to get for them long-term jobs and permanent jobs. And I have said a short-term job is better than no job at all. As a job online, because we have Kazi Mtandaoni program. These ICT hubs are to encourage young people to work online for jobs like content creators, website designers, app developers, business processing outsourcing, and so forth and so on. And we've made some good progress. Right now, about 250,000 young people are working online, and we are creating a database so that we can defend our record with data that can be verified. Another 250,000 young people are already engaged in short-term jobs in the housing program. Under the Kazi Majuu program, we are slightly behind schedule. We have taken abroad 272,000 Kenyans in the last 2 years, but we are behind schedule. Our target is to take 1 million. Wherever our young people get a job, even if it's overseas, let them go work there, invest at home, do savings. They are always welcome to return home when they have made good money. So job creation for us is a do or die enterprise. We'll do our best to narrow the gap of young people without jobs or income opportunities, and we need the support of every Kenyan. So pillar number 4 is job creation. The last pillar is the social enablers for transformation. And we've picked 2 because we can't do everything at the same time: health and education. You need a well-educated population, healthy, to work and build the country. Kenya loses billions through people getting sick and they have no medical cover. They turn to their relatives and politicians for Harambes. Some sell their land, their cars, they sell everything. They even end up losing their loved ones in the process. And so we are implementing a very, very difficult, challenging, and painful program called universal health coverage. Many countries around the world have tried it. Many of them have abandoned it because it's very difficult. Americans tried it with Obamacare 2016. The Supreme Court truncated that program significantly. Only vestiges of it remain today because America was not ready for UHC. In Britain now, if you have relatives in Britain, they'll tell you to get admitted, you have to queue for 3 weeks today under the National Health Service, NHS. I had somebody who is there who got sick and they couldn't get admitted and they had a very terrible infection and they were being treated from home and they were told to wait for 22 days. So it's that UHC is not a small matter, but it must be done. President Kibaki was committed to doing it. Politics came in, he backtracked. Remember when Charity Ngilo was minister? The same politics we're having today. Then he backtracked, died. President Uhuru, in his second term, he came up with something called the Big Four agenda. Who remembers the Big Four? Universal health coverage and housing were part of it. Politics, the same politics came in,